Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Fab24 podcast. We are recording in the last day of this incredible event where innovators, makers, creators, and thinkers from all over the world came across together to share ideas, collaborate, and celebrate creativity. Today, we are thrilled to have a special guest with us, Sherry, the CEO and president of the Fab Lab Foundation. Sherry has been instrumental in the development of Fab Lab programs at MIT, which has grown into a global network of over a lot of Fab Labs all over the world. So we're really glad to have Sherry today with us. How are you, Sherry?
I'm fabulous, thank you. And by the way, they call me Fab Lass, or just Lass, okay?
That's great, thank you. So to start off, how was your experience to be at Fab24? Is there anything that particularly resonated with you during this event?
Well, besides the fact that we had a fire alarm and an earthquake alarm, and this morning we woke up to a volcano alarm, I think, besides those things, it's been absolutely amazing. It's really been beautiful here. This is our most favorite event of the year because all of these people from all over the world, let's see, 2,700 labs in about 150 countries. So this is where we gather to exchange knowledge and to play and have fun and also to plan like our collaborations over the coming year. And so you put all of that craziness right here in Puebla, along with the culture here, and the food is amazing, and the architecture. It's just an incredibly rich and rewarding, very personally rewarding experience. It's been for me. I don't know about how for you.
Yeah, definitely all the activities and all the global community that it comes to with Fab Lab. And I think it's such a big family and so welcoming, and it's been amazing. And I agree with you. There's been some surprises during the week, but it's been amazing so far.
Also, for me, one of the favorite parts of the Fab24 is the community. All the people we see, a lot of this person is from different parts of the world. I think this is very important because the communication and the talks and the share this knowledge for different parts is so important for everyone to know what is happening in the world. How can be the impact there?
So that brings me to my next question. I could love to hear your perspective about Fab Labs and how they are impacting positively in communities all around the world.
Well, every Fab Lab, what I like about Fab Lab is that we have kind of a basic set of technology tools for innovation that we all share, right? And so everybody kind of has the same thing. And the same thing with makerspaces. We all kind of share this same tool set, but every community interprets it differently, right? And they do with it what they want to do. And so there are some communities that that just want children to learn. And so they have these beautiful spaces where kids come and play, and as they play, they learn, and as they learn, they're really kind of forming some of their future skills and ideas and pathways, which is really fun. And then there are others that are, more serious and about, entrepreneurship, et cetera, right? And for good reason, like this one here at IDIT, at Ibero is, it's really geared towards can we create economic opportunity, right? And so, and that's the kind of impact that they project here, right? And then there are other places like northern Norway, north of the Arctic Circle, they need to measure and modify the world around them. And so, something that's very important to them is the fact that sheep are very valuable. They're very valuable for food. They're very valuable for their fur, right? And they go up into the Alps, into the mountains in the summer, and they stay all summer. And you don't see them until about September or so when you have to chase them back down. And they're very, very valuable. And so if a sheep gets sick or gets somebody eats it, a predator eats it, the government will reimburse them like a lot of money for every sheep that's lost, but you have to find that sheep within like 24 hours or 48 hours, let's say that. And so, what they do is they make instrumentation, so that the sheep carries around something that will tell them if it's healthy, if it's still moving, et cetera. And then, and then they can understand, even though they don't see the sheep, they can understand whether those sheep are okay. So yes, it has impact in every community, but in very different ways, so.
Yeah, and I think we saw it during the Fab City Challenge too, like as part of the Fab24. We see some of their projects being presented in a Fab Festival and how they are actually doing solutions with creativity and all these tools and innovation to help more communities here and in different parts of Mexico, right? So I think Fab Labs in general plays a really important role in our society, and I hope nowadays in a lot of different parts of the world, right?
I do too. I mean, just going back to what you mentioned, there was one very interesting project around barrios, right? And around the young people in barrios that don't get much opportunity, and their big opportunity is cartels and things like that, and to have them come into a Fab Lab and learn those skills and learn those tools and make something that they can actually express themselves through and or can sell and make into a business, that was a very powerful intervention in that particular place, right? Or alternatively, the women in the jungle, right? Who they have no furniture or very little furniture in their houses. They're kind of afraid of those big machines that you make things with, and to go into a community like that and teach them to make furniture and empower them to do this themselves, that's super strong, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think Fab Labs in general facilitate and encourage the communities. And I think that brings to the next question, right? Diego?
Yeah, because you say something, I really like it. The Fab Lab is a power for the people and the community. And you can tell more about the Fab Labs and how can they promote the collaboration across the borders and the cultures?
So I think that, being at this event is a start, right? Because what happens is you have people coming in from all these Fab Labs around the world, and they're sharing the knowledge that they have, their expertise, but at the same time, they're looking for solutions to their own problems. And by talking to other communities that have similar problems, they go, okay, maybe we can work together on this. And because we share the same tools, right, and the same knowledge, the technical knowledge, that means it's a lot easier for us to collaborate. And, what I do here, you can do there as well. And all we need is really an internet connection, basically, to transfer our ideas and our solutions, right? And so I think there are a lot of ways to encourage collaboration, but this meeting is one of them. And the other one is when you bring together experts like this and you bring them to communities that have challenges, and then they get to work together, to co-create a solution, that's very powerful too, I think. And it gives the community ownership also on the solution, right?
Yeah, and I think definitely the community, like the Fab Lab network, it's so important, and they're making impact. And I really love this part of the community and how you say it's such a big reunion of a lot of people who have this mentality or making impact and creating and innovating. So it's something really powerful.
Yeah, because we are talking also about education, because this education helped with the machines and the community of the experts of the Fab Lab to help to find solutions with these problematics around the world. And also, I want to know your point of view, how can be the creativity, the innovation, all these aspects can play in the education to promote these kind of movements in the society and the culture.
And I think definitely how actually creativity take an important role in everything, like how you say it, like they have this problematics and they have the machines and they have knowledge, but how they put everything together to find a solution?
That's a very good question. There are big governments that ask that same question, It's like, why we want creativity? How do we get creativity? And I think creativity really comes from a few places. It comes from empowerment and believing in yourself, right? And in believing in your ability to make a difference, and just in believing in your ability, right? That's part of it, right? And then part of it is about self-expression, right? Is I have the right and I have the presence to tell you who I am and to tell you, what I know and how I do things, right? And then there's the playful edge. You can't always be, well, I guess you can if you're a genius, right? But most of us, you can't always be just serious, right? And to really understand these technologies, you have to play with them. You have to play around with them, see what they do, And so allowing yourself to play and allowing yourself to fail, right? And to come back and try again and not see that as a bad thing, but see that just as a part of playing and iterating and being a part of the process of making something. I think that's partially where creativity comes from. And then, of course, it comes from exposure to all these other people and cultures and ideas, right? So that's, at least in my opinion, that's where it comes from. And schools don't do that very well. They just don't. They don't let you play. They don't like for you to play. And and I think, it's not any one person or institute's fault, but, they're not set up to be flexible, to let you experiment, to let you fail, because you've got to hit this standard and this standard and this standard. You've got to know this by the time you're this old. And it's like, no, actually, learning doesn't really happen that way, but that's the way it works. And so my great hope is that we can disrupt education, right, by working with teachers and students who really love making and love doing this, and through them, we can kind of take over the system. We're a little bit anti-authoritarian, I must admit.
And I think it's really important because before we were discussing this part of we don't have to change ourselves, we need to change the world, right? So I think all together becoming part of this. And I agree with you about education. And I think it's really important to notice how Fab Labs plays an important role in changing education, because these spaces are perfect to explore. I don't know, what do you think?
I would love to see us do it, but the place to really make big changes in large public school systems or large public systems, and that's hard. Change is really hard there, and so that's why you have to be a little bit, like a Trojan horse. You kind of have to bring it in and teach people to use it, and then kind of leave it and let them all of a sudden go, this is really good, right? Well, so I don't think we're ever going to be able to systemically change schools, just by saying, okay, here are Fab Labs, I'm going to teach your teachers, and we're going to change everything. It doesn't work that way. It has to be more deeply integrated. And I think the only way that's going to happen is teacher by teacher, school by school, slowly. And so yes, we will disrupt, or it might happen by just these days. Many people don't want to go to college because they don't get a job after college. It's a big investment of time and money, and then you get out, and what do? Right? You don't get a job, right? And so I think that just by offering an alternative way of educating yourself, getting these skills, and there are industries that love these skills and will hire you in a moment for having these skills, but also being able to create your own businesses and your own enterprises, that those are likely to disrupt the sort of current pathway. Everybody wants to push you through college, right? And it just doesn't work anymore, right? So anyway.
No, I love it. And when it comes to younger people, I think it's really important what you just say, because sometimes we are at that process, how you say it, we just get pushed to go through life, and how you say it before too, you know, you need to know this, and a big list of things that you must do before like the end of your life, right? And it's so weird, right?
It's not useful. It's like, I think we call it just in case learning. So you have to learn all this stuff just in case you might need it. And, you know, rather than just in time learning, which is very powerful learning. You know, if you're working on something and then all of a sudden it works, you're going to go, wow, that, you know, I know how to do this now, and I really understand why and how, right? And just in case learning doesn't really give you that.
And how you say actually the exploration and everything, I think it's really interesting, right?
Yeah, because I think I like your point of view about the education, about the process, because you need to be flexibility with the persons, because we talk about person, it's not number. The person has his history, his background, all this is part of his personality. And in the community, you can use your personality to see how can fix or be part of the solution. I think this is very powerful.
Definitely.
Yeah, and also, like, you know, I can't imagine coming to you guys, you know, you being in school and saying to you, okay, I need you to learn how to make a circuit. I mean, you guys are so far ahead of that, right? You know, it's like you're way back that. You would be so bored. You would be like, oh my God, do I really have to do this, right? You know. In other words, we have to meet you where you are. So if you are already an advanced maker, for instance, we're gonna take you in a slightly different direction that we think will be interesting for you, but help you continue to grow, right? And so it's kind of taking each learner. It's customizing education to each learner, right? It really is.
So I want you to invite you to make a message for the people who's listening about fostering creativity and innovation as part of the community and impact, right?
I guess my message is, you know, making and tinkering and playing is super important. And I think everybody should have a chance to do that, right? Because you know, so many people don't have a chance. And I feel like it's almost a right, like a human right. You should have at least the chance to learn this way once. And then once you've figured out and feel empowered, then take that to make with meaning, right? To make with purpose and to make with meaning. And that's how you make change in the world. And that's how you get inspired, and that's how you inspire others. And that's where creativity comes from. So that's my little message.
I love it. Thank you so much, Sherry. There's something that we missed that you wanted to add?
No, but just how wonderful it is to talk to you too. And what you're doing is just absolutely fantastic. Please keep doing it.
Thank you so much, Sherry. Thank you so much for your time, for joining us and sharing today with us and all the people who's listening. And I think we are really grateful for you to be sharing and impacting a lot of people. And we are part of that people that get really, really excited with all of this. So thank you so much for your time and everything. Thank you so much for everyone who's listening. Thank you for joining us in this Fab24 podcast series. It's special. And a big thank you to the Fab Foundation and the Ibero Puebla for allowing us this space to talk with amazing minds like you. Thank you so much, everyone.
See you guys in the next year in the Fab25 in Czech Republic.
Bye-bye.